Hello, everybody. Yesterday, Trump gave a speech, and every time I try to find a section where he hasn't talked about it before, all his usual topics came up again yesterday too, like claiming the Dow would be at 53,000 points, while it's actually around 47,000. Luckily, he did touch on a new topic though, the Save America Act. I'll read it to you guys. No shouting like he did, but very calmly. But I want to thank House Republicans for passing another common-sense measure. To me, the easiest of all, the Save America Act. To protect our sacred American Look at this. It's the easiest thing we have. It's the easiest thing we have. Now the problem is you call it the Save Act, and nobody knew what the hell the Save Act. Have you been seeing? I've been working overtime the last month. It's called the, capital T, the Save America Act. And I saw Schumer yesterday. We will stop Save America. Where he's getting killed. They can't do it. And then the things within the Save America are so good, but just the title. So we had that with MAGA. Greatest name of all time. Make America Great Again. MAGA. It just worked. You know, I had something Keep America Great. It was good, but it didn't have that MAGA, you know. There was nothing you could see. I had CAG. And CAG I said, you know, no longer, that's not good. But MAGA is great, and we'll always respect MAGA. We love MAGA. We're never going to let you down with MAGA. But this one's even better if you think about it. This says America. We're going to save America. The Save America. How can they fight us? The Save America Act. And I've watched them. I watched Schumer, who's horrible. What a horrible politician. He is now a Palestinian officially. He is registered as a Palestinian. He's taken the biggest turn of any human being I've ever seen. He's gone from totally pro-Israel to totally pro-Palestinian. Yeah. He wants to protect the Iranian people that are quite nasty. But it's very simple. All voters must show the act. Voter ID. Ready? This is not complicated. Voter identification. Now and I have a whole list but I don't want to put, I have like hundreds of things on the list. If you go shopping, if you do this, if you buy a car, if you license a car, if you point here, everything you need to have identification. So all voters have to show identification. ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. So you have ID and you have citizenship. So far, good. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military or travel. Mail-in ballots are a disaster. Jimmy Carter, the best thing he ever did. He headed a commission after he was president. It was the single best thing, and he did a thing on mail-in ballots. He said mail-in ballots should not be allowed because they are inherently dishonest. And we have seen it time and time again, and we just keep going with it. And I put that down as a top 3. Look, no mail-in. Now you have the exceptions for the military, and I would even say foreign-based military. But for the military, for disability, for illness, and if you're travelling or you have an excuse. And I was lenient on that. But those 3 things. Then I added 2 more. These are best of, best of. These are called Best of Trump. We should also add on to this bill, and so what I've asked Mike to do is to draw a new one with these few things added and let's go for the gold. Let's not just get one like voter ID, but, it can be given to you by your daughter. Your daughter. She has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to say. You have to see some of this stuff is so bad. They're doing everything possible because they know if we get this, they'll probably won't win an election for 50 years, okay? And maybe longer. And they're going to fight like hell. but boy, do they get killed. Because even the Democrats, you saw the numbers today, Democrats voted 86% that this stuff should be passed. The Democrats. With Republicans, you're at 98%, but Democrats are at 86%. Except for the people that run the Democrat Party, because they want to try and win elections illegally. It's the only reason you vote against voter ID is because you want to cheat. There's no other reason. They come up with reasons. They say, it's racist. That's their number one. Racist. Then you have to explain it, and they're just sitting there mumbling. They can't explain it. And it's actually very insulting when they use the term racist, very insulting to the people that they're trying to so-called defend, but they're not defending. Then why I wanted to add 2 more to it, because they're, I say 95%, maybe 100%, no men in women's sports. Very simple. Add that in. And I wanted to add in one other. I'm not even adding in no open borders, because you know there's some people that like open borders. These people are crazy, but that's okay, because I want 5 things that are like close to 100%. No transgender mutilization surgery for our children. You can't have transgender for our children. So those 5 things, voter ID, citizenship, mail-in ballots, no mail-in ballots, right? We don't want men playing in women's sports. That's got to be about a close to 100%. We don't want men playing in women's sports, and no transgender mutilation of our children. Now that should be the easiest thing to get past that you've ever had. Each one, it's best of Trump. Those are best of Trump. I have some that are very popular, but I wouldn't put them in that category. This is the number 1 priority. It should be for the House. And I'd like to ask Tom, Steve, Mike, all of you if you would. I'd like to have you go back and... Lisa! Ah, hello, darling. She was screaming her affirmation of what I said. The kid went wild. She was so happy that somebody finally said, let's vote on this. Lisa, you've got to get it done, okay? I'm going to count on you. Forget the men up here. I'm going to count. Deal. But it's actually a matter in a serious way of national survival. We can't have these elections going on like this anymore. You know, you use paper ballots if, right now they have watermark. It's so safe. It's so good. You put it, it gets under a light. It says, you know, a code. It's very, very hard to cheat. Another thing, and I don't even bring this up, it costs 7% the cost of those crazy machines. You know, I love the machines. Where they get the machines. They spend all this money, and they announce during the election that the tabulation will go along for another 3 weeks, right? With mail-in voting, you know, there's not a country in the world that does mail-in ballots anymore. They tried it. France tried it. It failed. They go to paper ballots. They're all doing paper ballots right now. Most of them are doing paper ballots, except us. And nobody is doing what we're doing. And there's no elections so corrupt as the elections in the United States of America. And we can solve them with this. Oh, wow. Groundbreaking stuff. There are no elections as corrupt as the ones in the United States of America, says the guy who spent the last 8 years telling us he actually won every single one he lost.